Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just want to take a couple really quick moments to kind of talk a little bit about the picture of PAX and kind of the direction we're going, and kind of give you an idea of that, and so that you can kind of make some decisions around that. I'm not going to talk dollars and cents necessarily, or kind of specifics, nuts and bolts, that kind of stuff. You're always welcome to that information, and so you can shoot me an email, or shoot Kathy an email, or bump into me, or whatever it is, and I can give you that information. But today it's or tonight it's just kind of more about kind of giving you kind of a broad picture. And so, long story short, trying to keep it as short as I possibly can. I know that some of you don't think I can do that. Neither do I, to be honest. But really, it's kind of always been a hope of PAX to allow money to become good news. We want money to be good news, and money isn't always good news, specifically in our homes and our own budgets, for sure. In our world, I mean, finances are a big deal, and they're a real problem. We just don't handle money well. We allow money to kind of handle us. But specifically within churches, I think a lot of times within churches, money is looked at as a obstacle, as a hurdle, as a negative thing, as something that's binding. A lot of times is something that we define our mission based on how much money we think we can have. And I know that definitely people that are outside the church have a very often a negative view of how the church uses their money, and some of their reasoning is correct, and some of their reasoning is incorrect. It's kind of the way it is with all of us in our reasoning. But our hope has always been to really put forward a use of funds and a picture of money that can be a part of the good news that we want to proclaim to our city, and specifically to our neighbors and our coworkers and our friends and our family members. And so that's our hope. And so we were able to really kind of step towards that, I think, in November. And so the first part of 2012, my primary compensation was PAX, and I'm extremely thankful for that. You were all so incredibly generous to our family, whether it was with actual money for the compensation, or whether it was helping supply groceries and cleaning supplies on really tough months. And I'm so thankful for that. And then God was so gracious to us that He gave me a really great job with the Salem Keizer Education Foundation. I have incredible coworkers and a salary that's able to take up the majority of our need as a family. And so, as of November 1st, PAX went from giving 100%, and sometimes even more than 100%. We had to get creative in where we found money, to compensation, to staffing. We dropped that down to 75% for staffing. And so 75% of the money that comes in goes to staffing, and 25% of the money that comes in goes to back into like the missional communities, to be able to be utilized by those communities for their missional context, or whatever it may be. And so some of that money would, had been used kind of in a broader sense, kind of a larger scale, kind of citywide type thing. But that money's also been used by a community to really just kind of bless and love a family that had been kind of sojourning along with them. And they were able to really kind of bless and support that family in a time of need. And that's the idea, is that those funds can be used for a wide range of things, including helping to meet needs within the missional community. And so we really want to be able to increase the money that we redistribute to the missional communities, so that we can continue to allow money to become good news, so it can continue to be a tool for God, that it continue to be a tool in our neighborhoods and with our coworkers and with our friends, and we want to be able to do that. And so to that end, by June 1st, we want to take the 75% that's going to staffing and decrease that to 50%, and take the 25% that's going into missional communities and increase that to 50%. And so the hope would be is that come June 1st, we are bringing in a little bit more money, but B, at a point, me personally, really, that my need can be lessened from PAX. And so that's kind of the hope and the direction that we're kind of hoping to move towards, is that we can get to that 50-50 idea. And so with that said, a lot of you, when you made your commitments to PAX financially, you made them as far back as September, October, November of 2011. And those commitments were based on the idea that you were going to be supporting Chad as the planting pastor of PAX. And again, I'm so thankful for that. But now I get to call you to something better. I get to ask you to kind of reassess those commitments, because those commitments that you made, that's what they were for. And as an organization, we think it's important to be honest. As a church, we think it's important to be honest with you about kind of those funds. And so now at this point, those funds are not all going towards supporting my family. Now a portion of those funds, 25% of those funds, expanding to 50% of those funds, are being redistributed right back into the missional community for the day-to-day life-on-life work that we're hoping to see happen in the context of your communities. And so we wanted to give you the opportunity to commit for 2013. Just to shoot an email, probably to Kathy Reeves. If you don't have her email address, then you can email me. My email address is chad@paxcommunities.com. If you don't have it, you can shoot me an email and I can send you her email address, and just let her know kind of what is your monthly commitment or your total annual commitment for 2013. The reason being is that'll help us to plan a little bit. Help us to plan a little bit, and to know, kind of have an idea of kind of forecast, what kind of the year can look like. We have some dreams, we have some hopes. In particular, we really want to be generous into our missional community so that you guys can be generous in your neighborhoods. We also want to be able to have we want to be able to have some incredible parties together where all of PAX comes together, and we don't want to blow a bunch of money on that, but we want to know if we have a few dollars to help make the experience better for those people that we're going to be inviting to those shindigs. Maybe it's making sure that we're bringing the best wine, right? We want to be able to do that. We've also talked about the idea of becoming a safe church with an organization called Safe Families. And I know a lot of you have heard about that, but basically we would love to be able to have a pantry just stocked full of items that families that are taking in kids for short periods of times or long periods of times, where families can get what they need, whether it's things like diapers or canned foods or clothing or school supplies or whatever it is. We would love, as PAX, to be able to have a location where we have a pantry just shoved full of stuff. And so we'd love it if you could let us know kind of what you're thinking, kind of what your commitment is for 2013. And here's our promise to you. We really only want to talk about money in this way twice this year. Talk about it now and then in June again when we make the 50-50 transition, so that we can make sure that you're aware of where we're at that 50-50 transition, and we can make the right decisions as a body, as a church. And so that's our commitment to you. We're not going to be sending you emails begging for money. We're not going to be sending you letters begging for money. We might teach on money because it's an important thing to teach on, right? It's been bad news. We want to help make it good news. So we may teach on money as it comes up throughout the text that we're teaching on. It comes up in Mark, actually. It actually comes up a lot in pretty much all the Gospels, Jesus talking. But we're not going to have to teach on it and then ask you to give a bunch more for us. The only two times we really want to talk about money in this way is now in June. And that's our commitment and promise to you. And so we ask that you make a commitment to PAX and to the vision, and that you would be a part of helping to further this, and helping to resource our missional communities, the communities that you are a part of, in order to be able to really just love our neighborhoods and love our relational networks, to love them well. And we can do that without money, but a lot of times we can meet a lot of tangible needs with it. And so if you could just let us know kind of what 2013 will look like for you. Again, this isn't something that we're going to beat you over the head with. Some of you were able to give more than you committed to in 2013, and you didn't get a phone call saying, hey, thanks, VIP giver. And some of you weren't able to give as much as you'd hoped and you'd even committed to in 2012. But we still we were totally fine, and we didn't give you a call and come knock on your door and ask for your commitment. And so it's really just a time, it's an opportunity for you to kind of spend time as an individual, if you're married, with your spouse or your family, if you have kids, and pray about and think about what does it look like for us to give sacrificially and generously, not just of our time, not just of our energy, but also of our resources, of our finances, to this mission that we believe God's called us to be a part of. It's an opportunity for you to do that, and it's an opportunity for PAX as a whole to be able to forecast and dream and be excited about how God's going to use us. So thanks for taking 10 minutes to listen to me tonight. If you ever have any questions regarding finances, we are an open book. And you can run into me at Starbucks and ask me about it. You can give me a call. You can shoot me an email. we want to be clear on those things. So we love you guys. In particular, I can say personally, I love you guys. I'm so thankful to be doing life with you and trying to figure this all out with you. And I'm so thankful to be able to contribute my money, the money that I think is mine, even though I know it's God's, contribute the portion of finances that God's given to me to give back, to be able to pool that in with the money that God's going to call you to give, to be able to make an impact in our city and beyond. Love you.